morning everyone and welcome to this video. To introduce today's lesson, we are going to watch a modern version of a Cinderella story, Tinderella. You may have seen this video already, but that doesn't matter. So, sit back and enjoy the story.
There once was a beautiful girl who was known to swipe left all day until she found a charming prince who was only a mile away. The prince was none too picky, but this one was out of his league. He'd never seen a maiden so fair, plus he hadn't had sex in a week. And so their courtship did blossom. They planned to meet up that night. She donned her prettiest dress and a pair of control top tights.
Tinderelli, show some cleavage, Tinder.
The ball was full of creepers. They scoped her low and high. She couldn't find her handsome prince 'cause her battery just died. The prince was so distraught. Alas and alack! Of all the girls he'd messaged, she was the hottest who wrote back. So he took out her selfie and he searched far and wide, from the girls doing shots to the ones smoking outside. The prince felt defeated and also pretty drunk. But then out of nowhere, he saw his one true love. She snuck out that morning at 4:30 a.m. and they lived happily ever after because they never spoke again.
Open your iBook on page 5. It's a date. We are going to read the text about Tinderella couples together, and afterwards we are going to answer some questions. Tinderella stories, the couples finding true love via Tinder. Brandon Clay and Doris Ying met on Tinder 3 years ago. Within half an hour of their first date, dinner at a restaurant, they each agreed to delete the hookup app from their phones because the connection was so strong. The couple are now married, recently tying the knot at their dream wedding in Koh Samui with family and friends. They chose Thailand because that's where they had their first holiday together. A lot of people have said we were absolutely perfect for one another, Ying says. He is so good to me, he makes me laugh. It's a fairy tale story that's becoming increasingly common among users of Tinder, which was originally associated with one-night stands and casual sex. Since it was launched in 2012, the app has cemented its place in the Aussie dating world, and its website boasts 10 billion matches worldwide. That's more matches than actual people in the world. Tinder users swipe right for yes and left for no, based on a person's photo and any optional information provided. If both sides swipe right and match, the pair can chat and go from there. Tinder CEO Sean Redd believes a new feature, the Super Like, which is the equivalent of asking someone if they would like a drink in a bar, will lead to 20 billion matches before long. At last count, the app was notching up 16,000 swipes and 300 matches every second and an average daily swipe count of 1.4 billion. Clay and Ying had both just come out of long-term relationships when they decided to sign up out of curiosity. I wasn't looking for a relationship or hookup, I just wanted to get back out there, says Clay, 30. Doris was the second person I met on Tinder. With the first, there was a lot of chemistry when we were messaging each other, but in person there was nothing at all. That's why Ying and Clay spoke on the phone for hours before their first date. And when the North Shore couple met in real life, they immediately clicked. He was the first and the last, says Ying, 28. Within a month, they were in a serious relationship. It just happened really organically, she says. We settled into couplehood very early on. They don't have any problems with telling people they met on Tinder either. We actually like the shock value, says Clay, who works in software and is a DJ by night. We embraced that and enjoyed it. The secret to success on Tinder, he says, is to have no expectations. You shouldn't go into it trying to find the person that completes you. You've got to be more realistic, he says. Go into it without expectations and don't be offended if the person you've matched with is chatting with 3 or 4 other people. Sydney Sider Jeremy Ayers wasn't taking Tinder very seriously when he met his future wife, Samantha Hirsch, on the final night of a holiday in San Francisco. I was starting to treat Tinder almost like a silly game, he says. I had no expectations at all. It was the last night of my trip. What did I honestly think was going to happen? She joined Tinder to talk to people who weren't from work or drunk jerks you'd meet at a bar. But it was a love at first sight situation, and after persevering for a while with a long-distance relationship, Ayers and Hirsch quickly moved to London to be together. They're now planning to get married in Fiji next year. I am marrying the most amazing man in the world and my best friend, says Hirsch. You can start by taking your notebook because you have to write down all the answers to exercise number 3. The first question: how does the app work? Once you've downloaded the app, you can start using it. The first thing you need to do is select the gender and age of the people you'd like to meet. Tinder then shows you pictures of people who match your criteria. If you like the person in the picture, you swipe to the right. If you don't like him, you swipe to the left. If you like someone who also likes you, Tinder tells you that you have a match and opens a chat function. B. Describe the appearance of the couples in the pictures. Well, Brandon Clay and Doris Ying, they look very happy and it looks like they are really in love. The other ones are Jeremy Ayers and Samantha Hirsch. They also look very, very happy. Question C. Why is it so surprising that these couples found true love through Tinder? Well, all 4 of them started using Tinder without having any expectations of finding true love. A lot of people use Tinder as a game or an easy way to find an hookup. If you go in there trying to find real love, there is a big chance that you will get disappointed. And the last question, what is a super like? Well, a super like is a way of telling people that you really, really like him or her. Exercise 4. Construct a story of how Ying and Clay met. First, they signed up on the Tinder after a long-term relationship. Then, Brandon and Doris met on Tinder. They spoke on the phone for hours before their first date. After that, the connection between these two became so strong that it didn't take long before they were in a serious relationship. And finally, the couple got married with family and friends. Exercise number 5 is a vocabulary exercise. How is it said in the text? Very natural is organically. To achieve something is to notch up. Having sex with a person you've recently met is a hookup. To introduce something new, such as a product, is to launch. Something that has the same qualities, amount, value as something else. The equivalent. Eager to know or learn something is the curiosity. To get married, to tie the knot. To speak too proudly about what you have achieved, to boast. Soon, before long. To continue doing something despite having a few problems, to persevere. And that was it for today. I see you next time.